Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of And Now You Know with Betty and Julz. I'm Betty.
And I'm Julz.
And we will keep the giggling to a minimum this time.
Yes.
Okay.
We will try to.
We will try to.
We've had a long time together this morning, and we have gotten a lot of things discussed and laughed out.
Yes.
We did just come off of a major ice storm, and we've got cabin fever.
Yes. So it's all good now. The sun is shining.
It is.
We
the
can
snow
actually
is
see
melt.
the
We can
roads.
drive.
Yes.
We can drive. I drove all the way over here. It's about an hour drive from my house over here to where we record.
Yeah.
And it was 70 all the way, baby.
Awesome. So we have discovered, I know this for me, for sure, the winter, the cold weather, all of that stuff, I just want to hop on a plane and go to a beach. Like, it's not for me.
I like our winters because they only last like 3 or 4 days. Mm-hmm. So that, but I have no idea how people live up north, and
that was me.
Have it for 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
I used to think that maybe I wanted to do that, but I've come to the conclusion that it's not for me. I was starting to get a little bit angry with those around me. Yeah. Not at them, but just irritated. I was feeling, I don't know, I get anxious and I feel like I should be doing something, but you can't do anything. And so I wrote a book.
Yeah. Well, she got something done. But seriously, we were kind of trapped for the last 5 days. And so that is...
And I ate
not
too
great.
much. And so today is the day to, well, no, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I went and got us a very healthy lunch, and then we went and ate ice cream.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
It was awesome.
Hot fudge.
Okay, we shouldn't have had it, but
bananas, whipped cream.
Okay, moving on, Julz.
We're going to go get another one if I keep talking about it.
Actually,
let's go.
No. I wasn't going to say let's go do that. But the reason why we got that, and it ties in perfectly with today's episode, because life is about saying yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to read you a quote. This came up as I was scrolling through. We always talk about social media, different posts, different areas of inspiration, different people, categories, that kind of stuff. And I saw this post, and Julz brought up this topic. And one of the things that I absolutely believe is that we are supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have great experiences. We're supposed to say yes to the ice cream. We're supposed to say yes to the cake. We're supposed to say yes to the vacation. We're supposed to say yes to the new adventure, the new opportunity, the thing that pushes you out of your comfort zone. We are supposed to say yes. So this episode will be all about talking about that. And I have this quote. She has one that she wants to share too that I thought was awesome. So this one is, imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. So those of you that follow me on social media, I will be posting that soon.
Yeah.
But the reason why I love that so much is we have this, we as in people, collectively, we have this, I'm going to call it a problem. We all have this problem that we think being perfect and waiting for the perfect moment is supposed to happen first. Well, first of all, if you wait until you're perfect, it will never happen. And the perfect timing will also never happen. It just, there are certain things that we constantly talk about. Like, I believe in divine guidance. I believe in things happening, things falling into place at certain times. That's different, I feel like, than you holding yourself back because you're afraid.
Right. That's way different.
That's different.
That's totally different.
You're not supposed to hold yourself back. You're not supposed to keep yourself small.
No.
I feel like there are so many things that people want to accomplish. And here recently I posted, it was another post, and it was a quote that I saw on somebody else's page that said, it was a picture of me, and it was a picture of that person, and then I just replicated it. But it was a picture of basically you in a kind of a state of gratitude, just a smile on my face, and I was picturing myself at 90 years old sitting in a rocking chair and being so excited of the things that I have experienced, being so excited of the opportunities that I gave myself, the doors that I chose to walk through because I said yes.
Instead of being scared.
Yeah, rather than sitting in a rocking chair at 90 years old and saying, what if I would have done that? Like, that is not the place that I don't ever want to have that conversation with myself at 90.
No. And I have actually felt some of those things in my life because I'm older than Betty. And I absolutely, I mean, I don't think there's any way to go through life without having some regrets and not looking back on it and saying, gosh, I wish I would have given that a little bit more time. But honestly, the things that I dreamed about, I still think that I'm capable of doing those. And it's our own minds that trick us into, no, you're too old, or your hair's too gray, or you've got too many wrinkles, or, all of those things. We can convince ourselves, and we can curl up in a ball and just fade away, or we can just continue to go after it.
Yep. I mean, we've all heard the stories of, like, the woman who at 50 or 60 decides to go to law school.
Right.
Or to med school.
Yep.
We've all heard those stories. And I absolutely believe that, we've said this before, that it's never too late.
It's not.
But at the same time, wherever you are in your life currently, whatever chapter you're on, you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, it's not too late. I can still do X, Y, or Z, whatever it is that you want to do. And in addition to that, if you're faced with an opportunity, with something that sounds amazing, something that you never even thought of, but here it is in front of you and you have an opportunity to do something, this is where I think you say, yes.
Yeah.
Go for it. Why not?
Why not? I mean, if it's not going to hurt someone or damage your family, and it's a dream that God has put inside of you, I fully believe that God does not put anything inside of you that he doesn't give you the ability to achieve.
Yeah.
So I love to write, and God made me shatter my tooth over Christmas, and it kind of kicked me into gear, and I finished my first children's book. I'm on my second one. I've started my third one. I'm writing a big book, and I just want to, now my writing desire has kicked back in.
Well, so, and here's the weird part. While that was a painful experience, it really did unlock something for you.
It did. And that's what this quote that I want to read, it said, I did not, and this isn't about my shattered tooth. This is more about my life. I did not crawl through the shards of my own brokenness to live a mediocre life. I've prepared for magic. So it's up to us to go and make that magic happen. I have the good fortune of a husband who believes in me. And I sometimes feel like I'm not doing enough. But he looks at it as you're creating, and I do believe that when you find something that you love, it doesn't feel like you're working.
Right.
That's
the thing you want to find, because I do believe that when you find something that you're just so passionate about, and you want to think about it all the time, you want to do it all the time, when you're doing it, the time
You don't eat.
You don't eat. You don't even know how 8 or 10 hours just passed.
It's so crazy.
That is the zone
it is.
That you should be in. That's what I believe we should all be looking for.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of learning. There's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be some fumbling. That's what my quote, the one that I just read. It's like, forget about it looking perfect. Just start.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. When you start it, you will learn how to do something new.
Yep.
You will also figure out, oh, that's not the right way to do it. Let me figure out another way to do it. Let me pivot. Let me ask some questions. Let me reach out. There are so many amazing things. And this is where I feel like growth, I love the world of when you are all about growth and greatness. I am a forever student. I talk about this all the time. I'm a forever student. I love learning. I just completed it was like a 10-month certification program that I just completed, and I just jumped into another certification program, which I'm very close to completing this one. I am just a forever student, and
I just told her about a certification that I'm about
that
to
she's
start,
about to jump into,
and I'm excited about,
which is so perfect for her. And I want to give an example. I want to give an example of something that happened to me absolutely in my life when I was 22 years old. I'm going to bring this up. The reason why this story fits in so perfectly, because when I was 22 years old, this is after I graduated from college. I worked at a bank in my hometown in Massachusetts.
I worked at a bank when I was 22 years old.
Yeah. And you know what? I loved it. It was great. I worked at a bank all through college.
What were you doing?
Well, I was a bank teller at first.
Oh,
That's how
I was
started.
too.
That's how and then after I graduated from college, I got a position offered to me, and then I became the executive assistant to the senior vice president of the bank. So that's what I was doing, my first full-time job.
That's amazing.
After I graduated from college. So, and I had already been in banking for like 4 years. Yeah. So it was an amazing, she was amazing. I absolutely loved working with her. And I looked her up a couple years ago, and she sadly had passed away.
Oh, no.
Which made me so sad.
Oh, that's so shocking.
And she was so young. She was young. She was vibrant. She was beautiful.
What happened?
She was a bank executive, and she used to teach kickboxing classes during the nights and weekends in Boston.
Wow.
She was phenomenal. Anyway, I loved her. Anyway, so I had this really amazing job. But again, it was in my hometown, and I really didn't know what I would be doing after graduation. But I took this job. I was with her for a year, and I absolutely loved it. And in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to stay in this job.
Yeah, forever.
I mean, at least for a good while, because I didn't have another plan.
Yeah,
right.
You were happy. There was no reason to change anything.
I made great money. I was doing fantastic. I felt great about it. So here comes an opportunity that literally fell on my lap. I didn't look for this job. I didn't apply for it. I didn't connect with anybody. But a friend of mine took my resume. I don't know if I've told you this story.
I don't know.
A friend of mine took my resume. You have. Probably. Yeah, I am sure. Yeah. A friend of mine took my resume, and she gave it to the company that she worked for at the time. And she gave it to one of the head managers. And then she called me, and then she said, "Hey, so she didn't tell me beforehand. She said, "Hey, I gave your resume to so-and-so.
Thanks.
And he wants to talk to you." And at the time, he was the senior vice president. This man was the senior vice president of this company. And I'm thinking, why did you do that?
I know.
I wasn't looking for a job. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, no.
So she's like, can I give him, well, he already had my number because, but can I have him call you? Like, do you want to talk to him? And I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him. So he ends up calling me. We have a conversation. It was probably, I don't know, this was 25 years ago. So this was probably a 20, 30-minute conversation maybe. And by the end of that conversation, we had an appointment to meet in New York City for an in-person interview within it was 2 weeks later.
Oh my.
So yes, I went to that job interview.
She said yes.
Yes, I said yes.
To life.
I said yes to the phone call. Then I said yes to the interview. And I went to New York City. By the way, I had never been on a train in my life.
Man, that is a culture shock.
So I am 22 years old. I get on a train from my hometown outside of Boston, and I take it to I forgot what is that famous
Penn Station?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one.
I'm like, Penn Station?
And we were meeting at Manhattan Center Studios because there was an event going on at that venue, and that's where we decided to meet. So I am trying to make my way around. First time ever, me going to New York City.
Oh, my Lord.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know where I was going, but I'm like, I'm going. I'll figure this out.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out along the way.
Do.
So I meet up with him. We sit down. We have a conversation. It was probably a couple hours. I think we had lunch and whatever. By the time that conversation ended, he offered me the job in person.
Wow.
I accepted in person.
Was the job in Boston?
No, the job was in Texas.
Oh.
That's how I got to Texas.
Awesome.
I was 22 years old, not looking for a job.
Not looking to move to Texas.
And let me tell you right now, the reason why this whole story is coming up right now, number one, that man just retired from that company.
Is that the party you went to?
Gosh,
that's
so I just went to a
cool.
retirement party for him. Now
Wow.
I haven't worked at that company now for, it's been a long time that I haven't worked there, but I made incredible relationships, incredible friends, people that I still am connected to today that all came from that company.
Wow.
And those experiences were so amazing for me and something that I never expected. I never expected that to happen.
That's
so
incredible.
Not only did this job fall in my lap, which was the most incredible at the time, my absolute dream job, which I got to live this.
And now
awesome
you
dream
couldn't
job.
drag her out of Texas.
Right.
She's a Texan.
Yes. So now it's what brought me to Texas, but everything about my life has changed so much, and it all started with that guy.
Yep.
And he just, retired from his job, and he was with that company for over 40 years.
Wow.
So it was really incredible for me to actually have a moment when I thought back.
Yeah.
Because,
That's
now
cool.
now we're in 2026, and I moved to Texas in March of 2001.
Wow.
So it is literally right now about to celebrate my 25th anniversary since
So
moving to
weird. I
Texas.
can think back to March of 2001, and we went on a ski trip that month.
Yeah. So it's funny. It's funny because we do this all the time.
Uh-huh.
We are really good at recalling dates. I am super good. I don't know. You know what? I think I got this from my dad because my dad used to tell us stories all the time.
Yeah.
And he would always tell us who was involved in the whatever story he was telling. He would tell us how he met the person, how long he knew the person. He would tell us the month and the year of when all this stuff was going on. And my dad worked for a company for 42 years, a very, very well-known company. And so, he built a ton of relationships over that time. And so he had all these stories to tell. And so I feel like because of his stories, it always made me want to remember important details so that when I'm sharing the story, I think those details really add a lot.
They do.
And so
They really
I
do.
always remember the month and the year and who was there and all
I
the
can
conversations.
remember clothes that I was wearing and music.
Yeah.
And music is a big
music.
association for my memory.
Yeah.
And I think my memory comes from being, I'm a classically trained vocalist and just having to memorize the different languages and just all of that. And your brain's a muscle.
Yep.
And it makes it strong. Mine's not as strong as it used to be, but
You know what, though? That is a motion is lotion kind of
it
a
is.
conversation.
I think my brain is still pretty sharp.
Hers is really strong. We talk about this stuff all the time. You recall stuff really easily.
I do.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I when my dad died, I made a concentrated decision. Is that the right way to say that? I made a decision, a concrete decision to remember things. And I can remember everything. So
Okay, so what is the thing? The thing that you did that, because I just told my story about this man who completely changed the trajectory of my life,
Yeah.
and it's only because I said yes. Had I said no to him, we wouldn't know each other.
Yeah.
Had I said no to him,
you're
I
going to
would
ask me what's my story.
Yes, what is
My
the
story
thing, the moment?
was more of a conversation with myself. And I was 24. Is that right? It was in 1988. And I had gone through my second divorce, a marriage that only lasted 6 weeks. These are the parts of my life that people are like, does Jay know about this? I got divorced, I got married, and I got divorced all in 1 year. And I think I've said that before on a previous episode. But I was in small town USA, and I could literally just feel the walls closing in on me. Mm-hmm. And I knew I have this beautiful little boy, and I think it was probably God. It was the Holy Spirit saying, there's more out there for you. And I said yes. And I did not discuss it with anyone except a recruiter here in Dallas. And I told my mom really the week that I was leaving. And I already had everything packed up. I'd already given my notice at work. And she was crying, begging me not to go. But you can look back on it and it's easy to maybe reflect on how different things would have been. But I wouldn't know you, obviously. My son would not be a professional race car driver. I don't know. I mean, I think it would be cool to write a story about, and you know me, I probably will, write a story about the fabric of life and how things intersect and the impact that those things have on your life. But I said yes. I literally, I had a car that had gotten a lot of hail damage. It was an Audi. And I sold that car for cash before I got it fixed. I sold it as is. I went and paid cash for a car that was not in the greatest of shape, but it would get me to Dallas. And I ended up with $1,000 in my pocket. I did not have a job. I did not have a place to live. All I had was a stick shift, older car, Oldsmobile at that, a 3-year-old little boy, and a porta potty and our food. And I had some food in an ice chest. But I said yes to myself. And my mom was like, what are you going to do if you don't have a job by such and such date? And I just have always had, I will figure it out.
Yes. Okay.
I will do what I have to do to get me where I'm going. And I actually wrote a song, and it's called $1,000, and it just says I need $1,000, a full tank of gas, a good road map, and I'm out of here. And sometimes you've got to take some chances and do things that may seem scary to other people, but it's not scary to you because this is your life and you know what you're capable of.
Yep.
I would have gone to work at Burger King or something if I had to.
Well, when you're faced with that kind of a thing, that is the attitude that I do believe will get you through.
Yep.
Is you don't know when you're taking a chance. You don't know if it's going to work out the way that you're hoping it does. And you know what? Even if it doesn't, what's the worst that can happen? Because actually I heard Gary Vee, and I love Gary Vee, and he was talking to this guy, and the guy, it was kind of like one of those, you know, like the Dave Ramsey moments when somebody calls in and they're asking for advice. So it was that kind of a setup. So Gary Vee was taking a call from a guy who was saying, this is my situation, I don't know if I should do it. And he was like a marketing executive somewhere, and he was making really good money, but he had this idea for this business, and he had already started the business on the side, and it was doing amazing within like the first 6 months of him doing it. And so his question to Gary Vee was, should I leave my corporate gig, or should I keep my corporate gig and try to scale the new gig, like the new business? Should I just try to scale it smaller on the side while I keep the job? And so once Gary Vee asked him, okay, well, you know, how many clients have you worked with? How much revenue have you generated? How long has it been? What's your scaling plan? Like, he asked him all these questions about, like, what are your thoughts? What can you do? And he answered everything. This guy was so prepared. I'm going to say he was pretty much, I would say, I don't want to say over prepared, but he was so ready and so prepared that he probably should have left 3 months before because he was stifling his own growth for himself and for his company, because he was in that place of like scared, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but I should stay, but should I go? But
it is scary.
It is scary. It's scary. Okay,
and we're not telling you to be irresponsible at all. That's not what we're doing.
We're not telling you to be irresponsible, and we are for damn sure telling you that it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you're supposed to do it scared anyway. Don't say no, just do it scared. Yes, you need some preparation. Yes, have at least some idea of what you're doing. Have some money set aside for yourself, or if you're supporting a family, whatever it is. Be smart about it. But this guy, like Gary Vee was really cussing him out on screen because he was basically saying to him, how can you... why are you even asking this question? Why haven't you quit already? And it was the most perfect example of say yes. And at this point, for this guy, it wasn't about saying yes to the opportunity. He'd already said yes to the opportunity. He was already growing the business. He already saw proof of concept. It was happening. It was now about him saying yes to himself and giving himself the opportunity to do it. And so Gary Vee said, I'll tell you right now, the worst thing that will happen if you quit your job and go into this full force, if for any reason down the line it doesn't work out or you don't want to do it, you already know that you can get a great marketing job.
Right.
And by the way, you'll probably get paid even more because now you'll have more experience.
Yep.
And I absolutely believe that there is an amazing value that comes with entrepreneurship. And when you are willing to bet on yourself and make a leap, when you are then interviewing, if you ever do then after the fact have to interview for a job, I think that a company would really respect that.
Well, I think that's why you hired me.
Yes, because you had done that.
I had been.
That's exactly what I said to you.
It's exactly what
I did. I forgot.
We were sitting there at a Starbucks, and she was looking at my resume, and she was like, "If you can do that, you can do this.
Absolutely.
Anybody who can do what you've done here."
Because I knew what she was doing, and it was way harder. I knew that what she had already done and what she was so successful at, that was way harder than what the job was. And
I would have still been doing it, except the company that I was with closed the doors.
Yeah.
And it was like a death. It was horrible. I'd been there for 12 years. It was my most fun until I met Bette and we started working and then doing all the things.
And now I'm the most fun.
And now she's the most fun. And just all the things that we've done. I mean, but that silly, it was a direct sales business, but it wasn't small for me. And it was amazing. I mean, I traveled all over the place with it and met the most incredible people, got incredible leadership, invitation only. But it took me 9 months to say yes to it because there's a negative connotation to direct sales and those kinds of businesses. But this was actually moving a beautiful product. And it was just, they were some of the best days of my life working for that company. But that led me to her. And so these yeses that you say lead you to, that's the fabric of life.
Yes.
It leads you down the road
where
you're supposed to go.
You never know. I remember a really good friend of mine, shout out David Bravo. I remember...
Hi, David Bravo.
Yeah. He's from California, but we worked together in a previous industry and at a previous company. I remember him saying that, like, you never know when you say yes to an opportunity, you never know who you're going to meet.
Yep.
You never know what relationship, who that person is going to introduce you to then. It's like this incredible fabric of life, right?
Yep.
So you have all these new opportunities that come to you that literally feel like they just fall on your lap. And it's because you decided to say yes to one thing and put one foot in front of the other.
Yep.
It actually has this really magical feeling to it.
Does.
And if you go in with the attitude of, if this doesn't work out, I'll still be okay because I'll figure it out.
But
It'll lead me somewhere fun.
Yeah, the cool part about saying yes to these things is that you know. You know, and you don't ever, I don't want to be sitting there looking in the mirror going, I wonder what would have happened if I had tried. I want to look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm really glad I did that.
Yeah.
Or wow, I'm really glad I did that and found out that it wasn't for me. You just, that way you kind of keep those regrets off the table for yourself.
Yep.
So
now I'm also going to just...
And I'm not saying go out and gamble.
Right.
Don't do anything
don't go out
crazy.
And don't say yes to something that feels like a hell no, I don't want to.
Don't say yes to everybody who asks you to marry.
Yeah. There is still the power of saying no.
Yes.
There is still the power of clarity and your intuition and like... Pay attention. I'm talking about an opportunity that falls on your lap, like that phone call, that really felt like, oh my gosh, this is a no-brainer. This is my dream job. I have always wanted to do that job, and I had no idea that it actually existed. That is what fell on my lap.
Amazing.
I wasn't even looking for that job. In that case, that is an absolute, what's the first flight I can take?
Yeah.
Like, absolute yes. We're talking about those kind of things.
Yes.
We're talking about Julz moving from small town USA to Dallas to
have doors of opportunity open up. And it wasn't even necessarily for me. I was looking at this beautiful boy that I was raising, and it was almost like I saw his life flash before me. And the opportunities that he had there were about this many compared to here having all the opportunities. And I wanted to give him that. It's crazy how becoming a mother can open up your mind.
Yep.
And anyway, so I said yes to him.
Yep. And when you say yes to you and yes to him, what ends up happening, and I know that this is true for my kids, and I know you would say this about your kids, you want them to say yes too.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're going to
Go for it.
You're going to encourage everybody that's around you. So this is another thing that we were talking about. We always talk about the circle that's around you, right? Your quarters, your inner circle. Like, it's so important that you are surrounded with people that will nudge you towards you saying yes and not try to shackle you down, because some people are afraid by your success. They don't want you to outgrow them.
They don't.
And so anytime that somebody says, oh, I just thought about this new idea, oh, I want to try something new, and they're like, I don't know that you should do that. That's not going to work. Okay, those kind of people, they need to go sit over there somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, distance yourself. I'm not saying cut them off.
No.
If you have to, you should.
But there are a lot of things that I just don't tell people I'm doing.
Right. Oh, I don't. At this point, nobody can influence our decisions.
No. But one thing that is, it seems kind of small, but I remember when I would try to lose weight, if I said I was on a diet, they'd be like, it's not going to hurt you to eat this piece of cake tonight. But if I said I have diabetes, they weren't trying to shove a piece of cake down my throat. I don't know why. I know I'm probably guilty of it too.
Yeah, but that was me. That was me.
No, it wasn't.
Oh yes,
it wasn't.
Because when I was fluffier, way back in the day,
I got fluffy with her.
No. I was fluffy already back in the day.
You were when I met you.
When we met, and I
was about this big around.
Right, and this is when I told everybody, if you're going to be around me, we're eating. Like, we were eating at every meeting.
Yeah, but that was so much fun.
It was so much fun, and
God,
we made it so awesome. However. People used to say, "Oh, I don't want dessert."
50 pounds.
Well, that's not because of me.
Yes, it was.
Not all of it.
You're the one who said it was your fault.
Not all of it.
No, not all of it.
I will take responsibility for about 10 of those pounds. Not for
Title
50.
10.
Not for 50. Title 10. Okay. But in reality, when anybody said to me, like, oh, I don't want dessert, I'm like, no,
you're eating.
Number one, I don't skip meals, and I don't skip dessert.
No.
And I usually have two.
And it was fun.
And it was so much fun.
And
I don't do that anymore.
Really good places.
We
still eat at really good places.
I don't do that anymore, though. We have both, since then, lost 50 pounds each. We've talked about that before.
I've gained 10 of it back, though. So
we don't, but
we're going to say yes to tomorrow.
Well, we said yes to ice cream today, but I said yes to ice cream today because I had been on a cleanse for the first part of the month, and so it's January.
I said yes to ice cream today because I have not been on a cleanse, and now I've got the sugar cravings again.
Yeah.
But we had a very, very, very healthy lunch.
But we are at a point, I know that I am, and I know that you are.
Yeah.
We are at a point where I don't have to have it continuously all day, every day. No. Like, I can have a little treat to reward myself, and then I'm good. I don't have to have it again for another month or whatever.
Right. Or
like, I'm good. It'll be whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. We figured out a balance, and that's what saying yes will do, is help you create a balance.
Yes, and when you're clear with your yes, when you know how to say yes to the things that you actually want, it's easier to say no for the things that don't line up for you, that don't help you accomplish your goals, that don't bring you closer to who it is that you're trying to be and what you're trying to, tackle. So, did the timer just go out?
No, I'm wondering if it got set. I know I thought I said it, but I think it's been a while.
Oh no, I thought you were telling me that the timer went off.
How much time's left on the timer? We're trying to be respectful of y'all's time. Oh, it's going off in 5 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So we were right on. So one of the things that we said early on when we started these episodes, we said that we were going to keep them all between 30 and 35 minutes. And then we would start just ranting, and we started getting closer
to an hour.
Yeah, 45, 47, 49 minutes. Yeah. Some of them are even a little over that. So we decided to rein it back in, and we are going to be keeping these between 30 and 35 minutes. That's really the goal.
Yeah. And even Jay watched a recent episode that was about 35 minutes, and he was like, that is so much better.
Yeah.
It's just so much more, it's manageable.
It is more manageable.
And it's manageable for us too.
It is. Especially like, if you're commuting for work or if you're working out, like 30 minutes, everybody, you can go on a walk for 30 minutes, walk for, 35 minutes, listen to something, and it's not so disruptive. Like if you have to cut out an hour of your time from your kids, from work, that's less doable.
Yeah. And then if you have to pause it and then you have to jump back into it, having to get back into that zone anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here we are. Our timer went off.
So the timer did go off. And so my final thought is, we talked about having a new year and a new word and all that stuff. And the sooner that you can get to the place where because it's all about, Julz always talks about it, it's always about peace, love, and joy.
It is.
And say yes to yourself.
Yep.
Because you will create more peace, love, and joy for your life.
Yep.
And I just think for the things that have happened in my life that I never even planned, I'm so glad that I said yes. And before we leave today, I want to give a shout out to Bill Patterson, and that company that I worked for that moved me to Texas was National Cheerleaders Association, NCA, and
I want to
NDA.
say thank you to him as well.
Yes. I had the most amazing experiences, the people that I worked with, the things that I got to do. I mean, I was like a kid in a candy store. That was like my dream job. So
that's amazing.
So the company, I mean, they're still there. The company still exists. If you're a cheerleader or a dancer, you're fully aware of NCA, NDA, varsity, all that stuff. That's the company. So thank you to Bill Patterson. Thank you to everybody that has made my journey up until today has been really incredible. And I'm looking forward to so much more.
Yeah, we've got good things coming. So my wrap up is say yes to life, and then figure out how to make that happen. Because you can.
Yep.
And just do what it takes. If you've got that dream inside of you, do what it takes to stay focused on it. And God put it in there for a reason, and he will not let it just fizzle. It just continues to resurrect itself inside of you, and then you can really start doing it. So
and you don't have to know. You don't have to know the how.
You don't.
You don't have to know every single little step.
Nope.
Actually,
just do your part.
Just do your part and
That's
take
it.
the first step. I think that's a quote from Martin Luther King. I think it's, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to take the first step.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
Let's leave you with that today.
Yep. Y'all have a wonderful day, and thank you for spending your time with us.
Yes, and one more thing, sorry. Comments,
Yes,
feedback, comment section
Subscribe.
below, subscribe, all those things. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. If you haven't, please subscribe and check out some other episodes. We are now hitting almost 50 episodes, so there's plenty for you to watch. More to come, so please follow us, and thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.